So I had an entire political career before I hit 40, local councillor, special advisor, backbench MP and government minister. What I really learnt is how to build a campaign to achieve change. Because as an MP, you've only got a very small staff, but you have the opportunity to influence, and I really tried to use my position to bring together players locally and nationally to get done what the constituency needed. So I think as a constituency and MP, I learnt how to get things done and how to use Parliament to do that as well. Possibly most interesting, I was the Treasury Minister at the beginning of the financial crisis in 2007 to 8. Now, I suspect if they'd known all the banks were going to collapse, then they may not have appointed me my first ministerial job in that role. But what it meant was I had the sort of ringside seat as the most enormous economic crisis that any of us have experienced in our lifetimes unfolded. Obviously, my boss, Alistair Darling, did the main work, but it was crazy, exhilarating, depressing, chaotic, all at the same time. You would literally be on your way home and had to go in for another meeting with a chief executive who had crawled into the Treasury to sort of beg for money as their bank collapsed around them. So it was very exciting to be at the heart of it. But of course the situation as it unfolded was deeply serious, so I got a very secure grounding in how economic crises play out. Well, the politicians obviously need the economists because they have to be advised on what decisions to make. So you couldn't, as Chancellor, stand up in Parliament if you don't have a pack of economists behind you doing the forecasts, advising on what policy might work. But of course economists really are quite technocratic people. They speak an entirely different language. So they need the politicians to translate for them, and ultimately, like any other sort of social scientist, an economist wants the right thing to be done, but they're not making the choices, so they need the politicians to go off and do the right thing. I find that standing in between, you can try and explain the politics to the economists and interpret what the technical reports are saying to the politicians. Then I can provide forecasts, I can interpret, and crucially I can explain how the two interrelate, how politicians are likely to react to what's happening in the economy, what it means for public finances, and also the other way around, how political decisions can affect the economy through confidence and the choices that households make. Well, I like talking about the macroeconomic situation. So, how is Brexit playing out in Britain, what we can expect. But I think what's possibly particularly interesting is how that affects politics and how the decisions of politicians can affect the economy. So social scientists probably call it political economy. I know from my standpoint that politicians think I'm an economist, and economists think I'm a politician, so I probably sit somewhere in between, and that's what I like talking about.